I don't think black women get up here and cry enough to show you that we're telling you the truth when we say society mistreats us so much. Especially the ones like this color. This hurt.
I just gave birth to our baby a week ago, and he followed me into the shower and started pointing at me while I'm standing there naked, screaming at me and telling me that I am fat and I need to lose weight and not have my stomach poke out like that.
Okay, so there's this thing that I do every once in a while. As y'all can see, I am a very ugly person, okay? Trust me, I know. Been told pretty much my entire life, and I've accepted it. And, you know, people still call me ugly to this day, and it doesn't bother me. Now, every once in a while, I'll do just like something that'll make me feel pretty myself. And that's just simple as, I don't know, like doing a little bit of makeup, put on a little lip gloss or whatever. Well, that's what I do to make myself feel pretty. Even though it won't look pretty to anybody else, I'll still be the same old ugly person to everybody else out there, but it makes me feel pretty and it makes me feel good about myself. And I'll tell you what, I am so grateful that I've been blessed with a kick-ass personality, because, you know, believe it or not, your personality can get you a long way, even when you're ugly. I mean, yeah.
My grandma, she asked me today, she was like, you don't have any friends or a boyfriend, anybody to talk to? Like, where do you go when you're not home? And I was like, I buy myself food and I just sit on a park bench and I draw. That's what I do. Anytime I go outside, that's all I do if I don't go to school. Because I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't even know why I pay my phone bill, because nobody calls or texts me. Only person I talk to is my therapist. That's it. Nobody else talks to me. I always hate when people, like, when you express yourself and then people are like, oh, just focus on yourself, love you. And it's like, people need people, and if you never have anybody and you never have, like, that's depressing, and it makes you
Really, as a woman, it's very hard. And these conversations, we want to look about the relationship and the self-worth. So let's talk about something that many people think but are often afraid to say out loud, like the physical appearance can sometimes affect how people are treated, right? So whether we like it or not, attractive people often receive more attention, compliments, opportunities, and the social acceptance. So this phenomenon has been studied in psychology and is sometimes called the halo effect. The tendency to assume that attractive people have other positive qualities. Because of this, women who feel they don't meet conventional beauty standards can sometimes feel invisible, excluded, or overlooked by friends, family members, romantic partners, and society in general, right? So I want you to watch the rest of the video here, and I'll come back here and I'll explain more and more in general.
feel.
You know, let me say this. When I started TikTok, my one thing and my one goal was I wanted more people to be one. I wanted people to know that we can do this together. I wanted people to know I want to love you. I want you to love me for who I am. There's a million trillion people out there, right, that is looking for somebody just to say, hey, did you have breakfast? Hey, how you feeling today? Hey, you're beautiful. Hey, you got this, friend. Hey, I know the kids drove you nuts, but hey, you can do this. There's people out there that if we come together, we can help each other. My friends, just drop a heart for this young lady because we her friend. Just like that. We her friend.
So majority of my life, I've been told I was ugly. From the time I was a baby, even up into my adult years. When I was a baby, my mom told me this story that there was a relative and they told my mom like I was ugly and I looked like a monkey. Then all throughout like elementary school, middle school, I was called ugly. I actually have a song called Pretty Fades. That's about it. Check it out. All throughout middle school, especially middle school. Oh gosh, middle school is probably the worst for me with that. Like I overheard some girls calling me ugly, this is that and the third. They made a list from prettiest to ugliest in the class, and I was the second to last person, meaning like they put themselves at the top as the prettiest girls in the class, and at the bottom I was the second to last of ugliest people. So I was like, if we would flip it around, there was somebody that was the ugliest person and I was the second ugliest person in the class. Yeah, I honestly have stories for days on that, of scenarios of me being called ugly to my face and behind my back. Those were some super pivotal moments in my life, being called ugly as an adult, all the things. It's never a good feeling being called ugly by family members, you know, people that are supposed to love you. And you would think like, oh, okay, if I'm around family members, I'm gonna be safer. No, I would get called ugly by certain family members. I also wasn't safe from that type of conversation when I also was not at school. So, you know, you grow up hearing that, you start to believe it, you start to adopt that. And it honestly wasn't until maybe like the last 2 or 3 years that I finally stopped believing it. Like, okay, you're not ugly. I would love to say like, oh yeah, as soon as I gave my life to Jesus, I believed I was pretty. Like, no, I think I've struggled and wrestled with my self-esteem all throughout my walk with Christ. And it's only until like, yeah, these last 2-3 years, to really even the last year and a half or so, that I'm like really starting to see myself as God's daughter and beautiful, and, you know, unseeing the things that were spoken over my life. Because when I tell you guys, I really did believe these lies and I took them on as my identity and for who I really was. Getting those like sympathy compliments like, oh girl, you're not ugly, like I wasn't fishing for a compliment. Those were always like, they never felt it actually made me really feel uglier. It made me feel like, oh, you gotta tell me I'm pretty because I'm that ugly. I know it was really bad. My self-esteem was like totally warped. Like the enemy spent most of my life trying to tear me down and pull that apart, but like God has been faithful to dismantle those untruths and those lies that I've come into agreement with.
Okay, this is for the girls who think they're ugly and that boys don't like them. I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was growing up, I didn't date at all. Like at all. Not junior high, not high school, not college. Not a single boy told me he liked me. Not a single boy tried to ask me on a date. Not a single boy tried to hook up with me. Nothing. I thought that I was ugly and undesirable. Okay? Turned 25, moved across the country. Guess what I found out? It had nothing to do with me.
My husband recently abandoned me and our 3 daughters just 3 months ago. Apparently because I'm fat, ugly, and boring. And while I may not be all those 3 things, maybe I'm 2, but definitely not the 3. I realized as a counselor in practice and now in the social work field that sometimes the people that are there to help us are going through something, are broken themselves. And there are times where I didn't realize, like maybe I went to a pastor, or there are people who go to a counselor, a therapist, a spiritual helper, their parents, a teacher, and they don't realize or don't think that maybe this person is dealing with their own suffering. I don't think you ever sit in front of a therapist and think like, I wonder if they're broken. I wonder if they're going through some suffering or grief. And we forget about that. And I think now that I'm in this position, I think maybe the person that I'm going to seek out to help me could be going through the same or maybe even worse than what I'm going through. But the only way out of this, the only person that can really help me is God. Yes, social workers are amazing, teachers are amazing, therapists are amazing, and they serve a purpose. But you're never going to go to God and God say, you know what, I'm too broken to help you with this. Or God's never going to have a bias in his mind because of past trauma. Or God is not going to say, you know what, I'm dealing with a lot of grief. Maybe I can't help you today. Or, yeah, he's just never going to be too broken to help you. God is not broken at all. And he's the only person that we can truly go to that's never going to have a bias, that's never going to reject us, that's never going to be too tired, too overwhelmed, too stressed, too sad to be there for us. And as humans, we fall into overwhelm, we fall into sadness, and God doesn't. God is always going to be there to hear us, and he's going to be the person to give us the best advice, to guide us. No human can guide our lives like Jesus can. And when my husband left, I made a decision, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to cope through this? Do I need therapy? I mean, as a counselor, do I need therapy? I know what to do. I have coping skills, but the one person that's going to get me and my kids through this is God. And I'm super thankful about that. And I just hope that the people that I'm serving as a social worker, as a counselor, never think that I am like above suffering, because I'm not. I'm a human.
I'm ugly. I've come to the conclusion that I'm ugly. The amount of times that I've been cheated on, and the amount of times that things about myself have been pointing out. I have a pimple right here that popped up about 2 days ago that is now resolving. It caused my lip to be a little swollen, and I also had a massive breakup. As you guys know, I was doing a series of fixing my barrier that never completed. Stay tuned for that. I did get some hydroquinone to kind of bleach the dark spots, and it's healing perfectly. The pimples, everything went away, right? Same thing over here. I am constantly being told about my appearance and my weight. I have a fast metabolism. I've always had a fast metabolism. I am breastfeeding and I have a fast metabolism, which causes me to lose weight. I am 122 pounds, along with stress that people forget that I'm constantly under. I have told these people to stop commenting on my appearance. I do not like it. I've been saying that since I was young, yet my weight still gets talked about. My one pimple, my face breakout, because I don't break out, gets talked about constantly. My nail lengths have been talked about. These are my natural nails, but when I've gotten gel extensions, they're so long, why would you bleach your eyebrows? I don't like that. You need to fix that. Oh, your eyelash extensions, why you get your eyelash extensions like that? You're super small. I like when you're thicker. Your butt, I like when your butt was plumb. Your butt is really small now. You lost a lot of weight. Your hair, why would you do that to your hair? Your hair is so perfect. Why? Always something.
The pain is so real, and one mistake people make is immediately dismissing these feelings. So, if someone feels isolated, ignored, or constantly compared to others, that emotional pain is real regardless of whether others agree with their assessment of their appearance, right? So, people want to feel valued, they want to feel appreciated and included. When they don't receive that validation, it can create loneliness, and sometimes it can also create the resentment. So appearance isn't the only reason relationship fails. That's one of the things that people need to know, that appearance is not the only reason this relationship can fail. While looks can also influence first impression, relationships are usually maintained through behavior, through trust, and through communication, reliability, and let's say the emotional connection. So sometimes People blame everything on appearance when other factors may also be contributing to the same situation. So this doesn't mean appearance plays no role. It means that human relationships are more complicated than a single factor. So there is about the social media, which has also made this problem worse. So when women compare themselves to highly edited photos, influencers, celebrities, and let's say the unrealistic beauty standards. So when people spend hours looking at curated images online, they can begin to believe that everyone else is beautiful, everyone else is successful and desired, right? While they're only the ones who are struggling. So that perception is often far from a reality. So self-worth cannot depend entirely on external validation. Like looks are not deceiving. So one of the most dangerous traps is trying your value entirely to how others see you. If your confidence depends on compliments, attention, or approval, then your self-worth will constantly rise and fall based on other people's opinion. Real confidence comes from developing skills. You need to also start pursuing goals, building character, maintaining integrity, and also becoming someone you respect, right? Because without those characters, then all the time your confidence will be rising and falling. So you also have to focus on what you can control. Like no one controls the face they were born with. Like me, mine here, totally ugly. However, everyone can improve areas that are within their control. Like you can remove alcohol, like you can go and do physical fitness, you can groom yourself, you can have a good hygiene, you can have a style and even the presentation, you can have communication skills and let's say the education and knowledge. You can also have confidence, right? And the purpose and the ambition. You can have emotional intelligence. These things may not transform someone into a model, but they can significantly improve how they feel about themselves and how they interact with others. So my only advice to these women who are watching this video is, if you feel ignored or isolated, don't make the mistake of concluding that your life is over because of your appearance. Invest in yourself. Like I have said, build friendships with people who value your character. Right? You have to develop a talent and a skill. You have to take care of your health. You have to spend less time comparing yourself to others. You see, I'm not even an handsome boy here. But you also have to remember that a person's worth is bigger than their appearance. Beauty standards change. And they change across culture, they change across generations. But qualities like kindness, competence, resilience, and let's say the loyalty and the integrity will remain valuable throughout the life. So I want to say that being judged primarily by appearance can be painful. Society often places enormous pressure on women to meet a certain beauty standards, and many struggle under that weight. But the strongest response is not even bitterness or let's say the all hopelessness. It is the self-development. It is the goal. The goal should not be becoming the most attractive person in the room, right? The goal should be the best version of yourself. Like someone whose value extends far beyond what people see at the first glance, right? So I didn't have much to talk about in this video. What do you think about what I'm trying to give out to these women? If you're a man, if you're a woman, kindly give me your comments in the section, and I'll be glad and I'll be answering them confidently. And yes, see you in another episode.